Okay, בעזרת השם, we're פרק זין, פסוק י' זין. נפתי משכבי, מור אהלים וקינמון. I sprinkled on my bed more, which is mir, whatever that spice is. Ahalim, aloes, וקינמון, and cinnamon. So we continue. Yeah, this is the Etzat Yetzerara, right? How she the Isha Zona, that how she continues her influence on the person. Right? Where we stop is that she makes sure that to hold the hand and to feel comfortable and love, right? And all this through the mitzvah. And then once you're hooked on the ta'anug of the mitzvah, on the pleasure of the mitzvah, then the Yetzirah extends the pleasure of the mitzvah to the Olam Hazeh and says, look, if it's a mitzvah to enjoy a mitzvah, then it's a mitzvah to enjoy. So go enjoy Olam Hazeh. In things that are mutar, right? So nafti mishkavi, I sprinkled on my bed. It says the bed represents what? The disconnect of a person. When a person is laying in bed, okay, he's not proactive and he's not in touch with what's happening in the world. And usually when a person is laying in bed, he's not doing anything. A bed is the definition of a bed is a place where you go and you sleep. So he says, Nafti mishkavi, I sprinkled on my bed, meaning I'm giving you on my bed what it is. What does she sprinkle? What does Yetzirah sprinkles? Sprinkle fragrances, right? So it's all, go on the bed, okay? Now that you are enjoying Olam Hazeh, and lay down. What does it mean, lay down on the bed? Disconnect yourself from the hitbonenut bedrachim, from having awareness and analyzing your ways and your behavior and your situation. That's the next step. After you enjoy the Olam Hazeh, right? So the Yetzirah is telling you, you know what? Now be less diligent about your actions and the analysis of your behavior, of what you should do, what you should not do. Relax, enjoy. Why don't you relax and enjoy? That's what the Yetzirah says. En lecha leitbonen ata b'derachecha. You don't need to be so careful about your behavior, your actions, what's right, what's wrong. Lech ka'asher libecha hafetz. Go with what your heart feels. But what's going to happen? We have a defense mechanism. We have a conscience. And conscience is going to say, what's going to be with the averot? I can't. I have to be careful. If I let go of my diligence and the protocol of the way of life, I'm going to start making mistakes. Yeah. If I start living a laid back life, I'm going to miss on the mitzvot aseh. I'm going to do averot. So there's a defense mechanism pushing back. What does she say? Don't worry, the bed is sprinkled with fragrances. What does that mean with fragrances? She says, Aderabah. Don't worry. Why? Because the averot that you do, it's true. You're going to make averot. But what we do, what did Chachamim teach us? Gedolat teshuva, shezedonot naasot lo kezechuyot. The teshuva is great to a point that what? It turns sins into mitzvot. Right? So that's the rationale of the Yetzer Hara. What do you have to worry about the averot that you do? You're going to do teshuvah. It's all going to become zechuyot. When you think about it, it's a really the thought process. Yeah. Once you start enjoying the pleasures, okay, and the pleasure becomes the motive, then you're like, it's okay if I do avera, I'll do teshuvah. I'm weak now. I'm tired. I can't. Don't talk to me about chumrot now. Don't talk to me about my seder. I can't deal with this right now. Leave me alone. Why do you say that? Because you know it's momentarily. You know it's a moment in time, and then you're gonna turn it around. You're gonna, everybody has weak moments, and it's okay to be weak. It's okay to let go sometimes. That's the Yetzer Hara. It's okay to let go. He says all the averot, says the Yetzer Hara, you're gonna do teshuvah. Now you're weak. Now you're tired. Now you're upset. Now you just want to explode. You want to let go. צריך להתאוורר. I need some air. Yeah. So go to Vegas and come back. Have fun. Let go of the steam. And when you come back, you do teshuvah. Everything goes, not only that you're going to wipe what you've done, but they're going to turn into zechuyot. You're going to get, it's also good. And he says that's what more ahalim v'kinamon. He brings a drasha of Chazal from the pasuk in Tehillim that says more va'aholot u'ktziot kol begidotayich. Your clothes, your garment is filled with more ahalot and ktziot, which are fragrances. And Chazal in Yerushalmi they say, "Al tikre begidotayich," your clothes, ela begidotayich, your begidot. To be boged is to be betrayal. Your betrayals. That what? Your betrayals becomes a fragrance when you do teshuvah. So you see that what? The meforash, Chachamim tell you. Even if you're boged, even if you're betraying, if you do teshuvah, all good. Not only all good, even better, because they are fragrances. They smell good. And the Yetzer Hara takes one more step in that thought process. He says there are three types of averot. You have chet, which is avera b'shogeg, by mistake, or a bitul aseh. You didn't do a mitzvah that is supposed to, a proactive action, mitzvah. They're considered chet. You didn't do anything wrong, but you didn't do good. Then you have avon. Avon is a avera that is done bekavana, knowingly. You know the person knows that he's doing avera, And then you have the pesha. Pesha is doing it, knowing you're doing avera, and you're doing it against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Le'achis, publicly. You want the Hilul Hashem. Not only it's bezan, but you want to be Mehalel Shem Shamayim. You want the aspect of the Hilul Hashem. That's Pesha. Now says the Gaon in a beautiful Yesod on this Gemara that teaches us that Gedola Teshuvah Shezedonot can Naasot Lo Kezchuyot, that the Zedonot, the Averot are turned into rewards. He says a Yesod, beautiful Yesod. He says it depends on the Avera. He says not every Avera you do Teshuvah on has the same level of mitzvah. The same way each Avera has a different level, right? Level 1 is Chet, level 2 Avon, level 3 Pesha. He says if you do Teshuvah, he's like for sure that if you do Teshuvah on the Chet, it turns into a very big mitzvah. But if you do Teshuvah on the Avon, it turns into a mitzvah, but less of a mitzvah of the Chet, because the Avera was greater. And so on the Pesha. If a person makes Avera befesha, meaning he's sinning to do Hilul Hashem and to upset and to influence others to do Averot, even though it does Teshuvah, and it turns into a mitzvah, but it's less of a mitzvah of the Avon or the Chet. Cannot be that you've done such a bad action and you're going to be rewarded for it. Yes, it's true you did Teshuvah, it turns into a mitzvah, but it cannot turn into the greatest mitzvah ever. So that's the Yesod, very important Yesod in that Gemara. Very important Yesod in that Gemara. Again, and he just jumped in. Very, very important. The Gemara tells us that if you do a sin and after you do teshuvah, right, the sin become a mitzvah. If you do teshuvah with love, out of love. That's the Gemara in Masechet Yuma Peva. So explains the Gaon, it's true, but it depends on the averot that you do, right? The lowest level of avera is the chet. Meaning, what does it mean, chet? It's a sin that you didn't do a mitzvah, a proactive mitzvah. You didn't put tefillin. You didn't do the lulav, right? Or you forgot, you did a mistake, you did the avera, but b'shogeg, you forgot it's Shabbat, and you turn on the light. B'shogeg, you thought it was Monday. That's a low sin. And then you have avon. Avon again is the averot that you do knowing you're doing an avera, but you don't care. And then you have pesha, which is doing an avera and to upset HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to do Hilul Hashem. And you go and do it publicly, and you want people to follow you, and you are in a holy war to go against to fight Hashem. So says the Gaon, if you do teshuvah of the chet, of the lower sin, the mitzvah that you get is a great mitzvah, the greatest, big mitzvah. If you do teshuvah of the avon, it's less of a mitzvah. Why? Because the action was a bad action. You knew what you were doing. It's okay you did teshuvah, it's great, but this cannot turn into a super mitzvah. And the same thing with the pesha. If somebody does avera against HaKadosh Baruch Hu to fight Hashem and does teshuvah, although it's true, it's a great action and it's a great accomplishment, but the act cannot turn into a great mitzvah. It turns into mitzvah, but not as great as the chet or the avon. So says the Gaon, and he says this is what more ahalim and kinamon mean. He says more is the Lashon HaKodesh, right? And it's male, which is representing the strongest position, which is the het turning into a mitzvah. Ahalot is also Lashon HaKodesh. It's also in Hebrew, but it's nekeva, it's feminine. Ahalot, right? Vavtav, which is nekeva, feminine, right? Which is also holy, but it's more on the receiver, so it's weaker, right? It's weaker in the mitzvot. So when the avera turns into a mitzvah, when the avera turns into a fragrance, right? It's a weaker fragrance because it's female, although it's Lashon HaKodesh, and it's great, but it's less than a fragrance that is Belashon HaKodesh and masculine. Why is the masculine greater than the feminine in that sense? Because the giver always gives a stronger smell than a receiver. And then you have ksiot. So ksiot is a targum. It's not a Hebrew word. It's a word from another language that has been used for lack of better words because there's no translation in it. And that's also yeah. I can't hear what you're saying.
We got off the Haolim Vekinamon. Why?
I know because he brought the pasuk he brought the pasuk in Tehillim that he says begidotayach, right?
I thought you were referring back to Shlomo.
Good. No, we are going back. We're going to go back to Shlomo HaMelech. But now he's brought the pasuk of Tehillim, which basically essentially says this, almost the same thing in a different setup. Uktziot, it means kassia. It's like another essence. Okay, so he says the Gaon from this order in Tehillim and this order in Mishlei, you see that the more is more important than the ahalot, which is more important than kinamon or ketziot. Yeah, what does that mean? That means that whether the Yetzer Hara tells you it's okay to do averot, yeah, it's okay. Don't worry, do averot. At the end, you're going to do teshuvah. It's all going to be fine. So says the Gaon, it's true, but there's different levels of outcome when you do teshuvah. However, the Yetzer Hara, what does he tell you? What she tells you? Yeah, she tells you, Habibi, it's all in the same bed. I sprinkled all these fragrances on my bed. You're gonna find the mo. You're gonna find the ahalot. You're gonna find the kinamon. It's a guy tells you, you know how to make a difference between which mitzvah is great, which mitzvah is not great. Nobody knows. The Torah doesn't address it. It's all the same. So do all the averot that you want. After that, you're going to do teshuvah, and you're going to get a lot of mitzvot. And you know what? They're going to be great. And this is the analysis, this is the rationalization the Yetzer Hara uses to now drag you from the enjoyment of Olam Hazeh, of this world, that are allowed, to enjoyment of Averot. So we went from Averot, from enjoyment of mitzvot to enjoyment of this world which is allowed, to enjoyment of Averot. And how do you transit logically and rationally from enjoying this world to enjoying Averot? It's Averot, right? And we have a defense mechanism. We're going to push back. Says the Yetzer Hara, you'll do teshuvah. Right now, relax. You're upset, you're tired. Look what they did to you. You deserve to just unload. What are we robots? Come on. Right? You can enjoy a little bit. You cannot have a little bit of an outlet. There's no olam hazeh that you can enjoy, please. It's okay. What's the big deal? Go, do your thing, come back, and then you'll go back on your land. You'll do your you'll be back on track. You'll do teshuvah, and you'll enjoy. And everything that you've done, don't worry, it's going to turn into mitzvot. This is how the Yetzer Hara lures the person and deviates the person from enjoying things that are allowed to enjoying averot. And the way he's doing this and luring into it is by telling you, by using the fact that you enjoy this world to be less diligent in your behavior. That's the mitah, says that's the shochem. That's the mishkav that Shlomo Melech is talking about. Says the mitah, the bed that you lay on, disconnects you from the world, from your responsibility, from proactivity, right? When your person sleeps, he's disconnected from what's going on around him. He's not analyzing, he's not understanding, evaluating, right? So says the Gaon, says the Yetzer Hara, right? When the Yetzer Hara comes to you, says the Gaon, he tells you, listen, relax. Now it's time for you to relax. You worked very hard. It's the end of the year. Now it's time to enjoy. What? Okay? Now it's vacation. Now we go play. So when you do that, you're in mode of less in control and less diligent of your behavior. This is the transition point that Yetzer Hara wants to now tell you it's okay to slack off, because you don't have your guard, right? You're not diligent. Your behavior is not in control. So once it's not in control, the Yetzer Hara can now tell you slack off. Slack off means it's okay to do averot. It's okay. You'll do teshuvah. And if you may think that it's every avera, every tshuva to avera is different, so just say, what does it matter? Does anybody know which mitzvah is important and which is not? Nobody knows. It's all the same. So you know what? If you do teshuvah, you get great results on everything across the board. It doesn't matter avera, chet, avon, no avon, parasha. You're only benefiting at the end. So go have a blast, okay? Go to Burning Man, go to Burning Woman, go to wherever you want, okay? Come back, and you'll be the tzaddik, and everything's going to be fine. This is what happens in June, July, August. Not June, July, August. Everybody go, oh, well, let's explode. We do everything we're not allowed to do. And then Elul comes, end of August, and we all become serious again. And we're going to do teshuvah, hatati aviti pashati, and we get to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we're serious, and there's והכל בא במקומו בשלום. This is the exact strategy of the Yetzer Hara. Again, so if we resume, first, we said vulnerability, exposure. Once you're exposed, it comes in the mind, right? Takes control of your mind, then a remote action, and then slowly, right? It takes over the house. This starts with what? With mitzvot, the enjoyment of mitzvot, right? And you're so amazed that you're like, wow, this is Minas Shamayim. This is Minas Shamayim. Look how Kadosh Baruch Hu loves me, how he brought this mitzvah to me. He lures you into it, and then one enjoyment of a mitzvah, another, and he's going for the mitzvah that you have to enjoy physically. He says, what? The mitzvah of achila, the pleasure of eating. Onek Shabbat. He went from Onek Shabbat. You know how it goes? First, we have Onek Shabbat on Shabbat. Then we have Onek Shabbat before Shabbat. The Kiddush Club before Shabbat. Okay? The Kiddush Club. You have to have a little bit of whiskey, you have to get a little bit of chulent before Shabbat. It doesn't stop there. Then you have the Kiddush Club after the Tefillah. That's Onek Shabbat. But because we cannot wait, everybody has to go home and eat chulent at home. So let's do the Kiddush Club during the Tefillah. Right? While everybody is wasting their time listening to the parasha, okay, we know the parasha. In between, we're going to have a kiddush, a nice lechaim, and we're going to do kiddush with the berachot, with bracha acharona, everything, okay? Suddenly, everybody's drunk, everybody goes home. And when they go home, they're tired. There's no time for their kids, there's no time for their wife, no desire to eat the food the wife did. What does that lead to? Shalom Bayit. Now the Yetzer Hara dances at home. No chinuch, because it's the worst chinuch you can give to your kids, right? That I go to shul to get drunk, and I come home, I don't care about nobody, I need to sleep. On Shabbat. We have to sleep on Shabbat, yes? The Arizal used to sleep on Shabbat, so you have to sleep on Shabbat. Okay? That's also part of the mitzvah. But you were machmir. Why? Because you say, I'm going to sleep with whiskey. The Arizal didn't sleep with whiskey. I sleep with whiskey. Even better. You understand? And then you wake up, because maybe you made it to mincha, maybe not. Shogeg, anus, anus patur, right? And slowly this behavior becomes chaotic. Yeah? And that leads the person to lo alenu crazy things. That's ta'anug of mitzvah. Slowly, then from the mitzvah, then he tells you, listen, you enjoy the whiskey of Shabbat. During the week, you're allowed. When you come home tired, you work hard, you bring parnasa at home. Not easy to deal with the people. You cannot come home and have a nice whiskey to relax. It's okay. You're allowed to enjoy. Have a nice steak, a nice whiskey. Okay. And then is not the whiskey when I get home to unravel. I need to unravel before I get home. I need to get home calm and relax. So what people do, they go to the bar with some friends, okay, at work. Let's have a drink before we go home. It's like one drink in 1 hour, just relax, and then I go. So the Yetzer Hara said, now you enjoy Olam Hazeh, right? And then it's having a drink with a lady that's sitting next to you in the bar. It's okay. Or vechule vechule. Says the Yetzer Hara, from the enjoyment of the, it says the Gaon, from the enjoyment of mitzvah, from the enjoyment of Olam Hazeh, enjoyment of Olam Hazeh, enjoyment of Averot. And like he said, the transition is what? You let go. It's all about exposure and relax. I need to enjoy. I let go my guard, and I rationalize I'm going to do tshuva. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'll feel great, and I'll be serious again. Today was a tough day. This is the way the Yetzer Hara gets to us. Okay. Next pasuk. Mechila. It was repetitive, but it's a masterpiece of the Gaon. It's so accurate, and he decides it so well that every step of the way is exponentially important. And why we repeat it again and again? Because the more we understand the baby steps, the more we have chances to hold ourselves back, because we see the steps and we can identify them.
The Kiddush Club is after Kriyat Torah, before Maftir, before Haftarah.
I
had to loosen the mood a little bit.
Okay.
But it's doing Chazara on this piece is like.
Okay.
It's
emet.
Because the brain rationalizes everything.
Nachon. That's exactly like Andy said. Yeah, you don't need I don't know what Freud or anyway. The Gaon goes and layer tells you exactly how the behavior goes, And nobody is protected from this, huh? If you don't protect yourself and work on yourself, we're all the same. Lecha nirve pasuk yudchet. Lecha nirve dodim ad haboker. Let us get drunk, okay? Enjoy, and fill our love until the morning. Nit'allesa ba'ahavim, and let be delighted by the love, the amour, okay, that we're sharing. Says, and again, that's what the Yetzer Hara tells. That's a zona, isha zona, right? Like the way Shlomo HaMelech calls it. That's another, okay, the level the Yetzer Hara goes, and he says, Naaseh ma'asenu ad haboker. You want to do teshuvah after you're already inside the avera, right? The enjoyment of the avera. Now, what did you say? It's okay, I'll do it, but I have to do teshuvah. Yeah? So he says, listen, we have time for teshuvah. Ma, you're going to die tomorrow. You're going to cut short. Let's enjoy. Ad haboker. Right? We know that what? That Laila is olam hazeh, is the journey of this world. Boker is olam haba. Right? So when we leave that, Ad haboker, let's enjoy this world. Okay, as long as we can surf the wave. Let's ride the world, this journey, and enjoy it. When we will do teshuvah, we will do teshuvah ad haboker. When the boker comes, when we get older, okay, that's when we'll do teshuvah. We don't need to do teshuvah now. Now you're good looking, you have hair on your head, you know, you're handsome, you're cute, you're good looking, you have nice car, you're gonna go out. That's when you're relevant. When you're gonna go out, when you have a belly and you're bald. Come on, enjoy. Ad haboker lecha nirve dodim. Let's enjoy, let's get drunk of the pleasure. Let's get drunk from the pleasure throughout life. What does it mean? I mean, let the pleasure get to you to the point where what's happening around you does not affect you anymore. Let the pleasure numb you from your responsibilities. And why the Yetzer Hara says that? In order to detach you from the conflict of your responsibilities. Because when you see responsibilities, you're conflicted. How can I be like this if I have the emet in front of me? It doesn't work. Let the pleasure kick in. Let the pleasure be inside so that you don't feel it anymore. You don't need to live this conflict. Why should you always go back and forth? What's the problem? To do teshuvah, you'll do teshuvah at the right time. Why now? Why now do you want to stop it? Nit'allesa ba'ahavim. Let us get delighted by the love together. Says the Yetzer Hara, davar nifla, says the Gaon. Says, we are so much in love, we are so much one together, that when the time to do teshuvah will come, and you're going to detach yourself from all this olam hazeh, you will be so much used to the love of the pleasures of this world, that it will take from you a tremendous desire to love Hashem, to break through, right? So you're going to do teshuvah from a great love, from ahava. And what does the Chachamim say? If you do teshuvah from love, then all your averot are getting to the best possible mitzvot, right? So don't worry about what's going on, because for sure you will wake up when you need to wake up, and it will come from the right place, right? With the right determination and devotion and love for Hashem, and you'll do a great teshuvah, a phenomenal teshuvah. In the Ktavim of the Talmidei Agra, they explained that the Gaon said something also beautiful. He says, the Yetzer Hara tells you, by loving me, by loving the averot, you educate yourself to love. And if you love the averot, when you're going to do the teshuvah, you're going to have to do teshuvah out of love. So love the process and write it with all your emotions, because this is how you're going to be able to relate to the proper love and do teshuvah out of love.
Which eventually the probability is won't happen.
ודאי it won't happen. אבל נכון, כל האומר, אחטא ואשוב, אחטא ואשוב, whoever says, I'll sin and I'll do teshuvah, I'll sin and I'll do teshuvah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes sure he doesn't do teshuvah. But the Gaon here is introducing a thought that Bemet is a hidush to me. I would think that a person that is absorbed in his averot, okay, he's stuck in a way, but does he really love it? Says the Gaon, the Yetzer Hara gets to you to a point, Be'emet, where you love it. You know, Leavdil, many, many years ago, a person who I was close to, it was close to me. He confided to me. He told me, "Listen, it's like I have desires of being with Goyot. I have desires, and every time I go and I'm about to be with the Goya, I tell Kadosh Baruch Hu, this is not me. This is the Avera. I'm appeasing the Yetzer Hara so that I can serve you beitlavut after that. I'm giving into the Yetzer Hara. And that's how I'm going to serve you best after that." And you would see him when he prays, you think he's Leavdil Moshe Rabbeinu. The talit on the head and crying and This is the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara gets to your head and allows you to enjoy whatever you're about to do and mess with your mind to the point where you love what you're doing. Hashem Yishmor. Pasuk Yutet. Ki en aish bebeto, because the man in this context, my husband is not home. Alach bederech merachok. He went far. That's what the zona, right? That's what the prostitute says. The man is not home, so we're free. Says the Gaon. The yirah is no longer. You have no more fear. You've sinned already. You've done it. There's no outcome. Like what happened? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. You thought if you eat a hamburger from McDonald's, the sky is going to fall on your head. The sky is still there. Nothing fell. And you did Birkat Hamazon. What's the big deal? You see, so it's okay. Go eat. Go enjoy. Go enjoy. And there's no more fear to have. The husband is not here. The conscience is not there. The Baal Bayit is not punishing. Allah bederech mehachok. He went far away. He let you. He let you do your thing. You think HaKadosh Baruch Hu is on your head as mashgiach and making sure you're doing. He's far. He lets you do whatever you need to do and come whenever you want to come. Nobody put a rope around your neck. There's no gun on your head. You do averot, you pull the trigger. Do your thing. And when the boker comes, we'll deal. We're going to stop here because the next pasuk is also is phenomenal. What happens if you say, but maybe he forgot his wallet at home. Maybe the boss is going to come back. So how can I be so comfortable? Yeah, I should always be worried. Yeah, that something, the balabait, the man is going to come home and see us together. So I have to be careful. Even to that, the Yetzer Hara has an amazing thought process. Anyways, that's our perek, the analysis and the step by step in baby steps of every back and forth the Yetzer Hara has with our conscience to slowly deteriorate completely our Yirat Shamayim and our connection with HaKadosh Baruch. So we finished pasuk Yud Tet, Perek Zayin, pasuk Yud Tet. Be'ezrat Hashem. Good. Any questions?
Yeah, yes. Rabbi, can you just explain for me the difference when it says this last pasuk of Yutet verse contrasting against the beginning of the previous pasuk, which is the Chane Vedodim Ad Boker. How's that?
It's very different.
I didn't understand it.
No. The Lechanir Vedodim Ad Boker is let's enjoy the Olam Hazeh until the end of until the Boker, in your life.
Okay.
Right? Until we leave this world. There's no reason to stop in between. Maybe you're scared that there is Ashgachat Hashem and there's punishment here. There's no punishment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he went far. He left already. It's an answer to, but what happens? How can I be comfortable and enjoy this world? Maybe I'm going to get striked. Maybe your husband is behind the door. He's going to come give you a punch in the face. So she says, don't worry. He's not here left. He's very far.
Very far. I got you.
Good?
Yep. Thank you.
Andy, no questions? I left you thinking.
No, the all starts with the exposure.
It's all about the exposure. Nachon.
It's a super guard.
Yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ava.
I'll watch that.
This is